In the capital of the Commonwealth tonight, it is USL Soccer, the Richmond Kickers, and North Carolina Football Club. Hi, everybody. Along with Ronnie Pascal, I'm John Emmett. Tonight, it's two teams desperate for points on the outside looking in the USL playoff chase, but it is for the Kickers the culmination of one of the most emotional weeks in the history of the franchise. Lee Cowlishaw, the only man to coach the Kickers in this century, stepping aside from coaching to concentrate on his front office chores. And tonight, former Kickers player and one-time Ronnie Pascal teammate David Bulow makes his first team coaching debut.
Yeah, you know, it's something that's been talked about a lot here in Richmond, but I don't think anyone thought it was actually going to happen. And then when it happened, a lot of people were blindsided. But, you know, Coach Cowlishaw has done a ton for not just the Kickers organization, but the city as a whole, and the USL. But he decided to step aside, focus on really growing the club, the Kickers organization, as the USL is just exploding these days. And David Bulow is getting the reins, and he's someone I know really, really well, a true professional, and I think Kickers players and Kickers fans are going to be really excited with what he's going to bring to the table.
Meanwhile, the last time the Kickers were coached by somebody other than Lee Cowlishaw, it was Colin Clark on the sideline for North Carolina Football Club, and he has unleashed one of the most talented goal scorers in the East this season, Chivas of Guadalajara loanee Daniel Rios.
Yeah, he's come in. He scored 8 goals in 13 matches and added 2 assists to go with it, and just proven to be just a lethal striker in front of net. Has a lot of experience between the Mexican national team and Chivas Guadalajara, like you said, but he's definitely someone the Kickers have to keep an eye on.
And he's the man who scored the goal when NCFC fell here back in March 2-1. And the man who made that happen on the other side was North Carolina Football Club's all-time leading goal scorer, now a Richmond Kicker, Brian Shriver, who had a hand in both Kickers' goals in the first meeting.
Yeah, Brian Shriver's been one of the real main bright spots for the Kickers offensively this season, and that's what he was brought in to do. But he brings a wealth of experience and a ton of quality in front of goal. Scored, I think, 4 goals this season to go along with 5 assists, and he's involved in almost every offensive attacking play for the Kickers.
Both teams coming off draws last week. Tonight, desperate for points, and David Bulow makes his coaching debut in Richmond. We are back with the lineups next on CBS 6 and ESPN+.
Make time to escape to the coast and enjoy 60 miles of beautiful beaches, and let the sound of the ocean's tide take you to your happy place. Now's the perfect time to book your spring getaway to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Besides, you deserve it. Seize your moment now and come, let go, and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
She works as a meteorologist at CBS 6, but Nikki D. Ray does all kinds of jobs. Roll call.
I'm Nikki D., the construction worker. I'm Nikki D., the insurance agent. I'm Nikki D., the doctor. I'm Nikki D., the fast food cook. I'm Nikki D., the referee. I'm Nikki D., the teacher. I'm Nikki D., the beekeeper. I'm Nikki D., the race car driver.
Nikki D., Can You Be Me? On CBS 6 this morning.
Richmond Kickers versus RCD Español. They conquered Real Madrid. They defeated Atlético de Madrid. La Liga is coming to City Stadium July 25th. La Liga in RBA. Get tickets now at richmondkickers.com.
On a 90-degree night in Richmond, it is time for USL Soccer. John Emmett along with Ronnie Pascal. North Carolina Football Club and the Richmond Kickers. For NCFC, the same 11 that started in last week's 2-2 draw with Louisville City. Alex Tambakis has played every minute of the season between the sticks, and they'll go with a 4-4-2. For the Kickers, Travis Wara, one of 3 changes from last week's lineup in David Bulow's first 11 as a kicker coach. And already, Ronnie, we're seeing one change. Kickers defending the goal to our left in the first half.
Yeah, it kind of goes back. I always enjoyed that goal in the first half anyway. You have your fans right in front of you. The sun doesn't really play as much tricks with you, but interesting lineup on Bulow's first day. I expect to see a couple different lineups in his first couple games. Really an opportunity to give guys a fresh start and to give a bunch of people a different opportunity. So it's going to be interesting to see how he plays it until he gets settled in.
And we are underway. Richmond is in the red. NCFC with the first touches of the game. Michael Harrington, a Major League Soccer veteran for Guillen on the near side. Now an early touch for Graham Smith. DJ Taylor chased down by William Yambi wearing the captain's armband. Yambi getting a second straight start, unable to handle the return there from Wara.
Yeah, Yambi's a guy who brings a ton of experience. He's been there for a long time, and he's one of those guys as a player in front of me. He was my rock in front, and he protected me a ton.
Here's Miller, and Wara gets an early touch. Stephen Miller listed as a defender on the roster, but plays an attacking wing in what is now a 4-4-2. A little bit of a tactical change by Colin Clark from early in the season. Harrington broken up by Troyer, who's playing a holding mid once again tonight after starting at center back last week. Austin DeLuz broken up by Connor Shinosky, back in the lineup this week. DeLuz wins the ball, broken up by Shinosky. Neolavity back for Yambi. Chased down by Scott Thompson. Former UVA Cavalier finds Gonzalez. We are just underway and scoreless from City Stadium. Kickers have had bright starts this season. Scored a goal 6 minutes in last week. Gonzalez. Now the veteran Yambi. Thompson looking for Cordovez, flags up Richmond offside.
Well held by Travis Wara. It's always good as a goalkeeper to get an early touch, a simple ball that you're able to kind of move your feet a little bit, hold on to well. Gives a good start to the game, give you some confidence right from the beginning.
And Harrington's pass offline for Guillen, who played it out of bounds about 30 yards, preventing a quick restart. Our referee tonight is Mr. Eric Tattersall, and that gave him an opportunity to give a little lecture. Lee with the throw in. Cordovez deflecting it from Harrington. Shriver trying to get on the end of that, broken up and cleared by Connor Tobin, who was out hurt when these teams first met. NCFC has really been beat up in the back line. They lost Footy Danzo, who left the club to go play in Malaysia. Shot from Thompson, blocked by DJ Taylor. Gonzalez, Neil Lavity, who spent a little time in the research triangle. Ball in for Cordovez, and Richmond again strikes early.
What a fantastic finish by Cordovez right there. And that's exactly the start that David Bulow wanted.
In the 4th minute, Emil Cordovez with his 4th league goal of the campaign, tying him with Brian Shriver for the squad lead.
Cordovez just does a great job of getting in front of his defender, knows where the ball's going to come, steps in front of him and just hits it one time with his left foot, making no mistake.
Oh, again, Richmond for the 7th time in their last 9 at home, striking first. North Carolina Football Club has not won this season when conceding the first goal. Here's Harrington. Guillen. Now DeLuz. Closed down by Fernandez. Becker, who is part of an NASL champion with San Francisco last season. Now Guillen. Becker. For DJ Taylor, who came up through the NCFC Academy, the first Academy product signed to a first-team contract. Tabakis starts it along for Harrington. Guillen. Becker.
One little tactical switch already by the kickers. You see Brian Shriver stepping inside and playing right in behind Cordovez. Typically he's out wide. But this gives him, I think, a little bit more freedom in the middle of the field to be able to find the ball and move around.
Here's Miller. Back for Smith, now Taylor. We got the lineup early this afternoon. We saw they drew it up for us formationally with Shriver underneath Cordovez, and I thought, oh, maybe he's just doing it there to fit it in the email. I was wondering if they really would tuck him underneath.
Yeah, I think when you have a new coach come in, it's kind of a fresh start for everybody. So he's got some new ideas. Coming in the middle of the season, it's a little bit different. You don't want to make too many changes. But at the same time, I would expect the kickers to come out and have a start like this. Everyone's kind of fired up, a little bit of adrenaline.
Becker took that corner. It was headed down by Tobin. Kickers with some frantic defending. DeLuz against Alex Lee. DeLuz physically wins that battle, and then the whistle sounds for the foul.
It's a great ball whipped in from the left side, and Cordovez just does a really good job of getting in front of his defender right there and just taking it one time.
Thompson with that ball in, collecting his first assist of the season. Kickers up 1-0 early. Connor Shinovsky. Lavity with the deflection. NCFC throw forthcoming. DeLuz quickly in, looking for Rios. Broken up by Lee. Harrington recovers for Smith. Now DJ Taylor. Speculative ball for Miller. Got on the end of it, and some last-ditch defending by Shinovsky. And Lavity's pass, a little too much pace for Gonzalez. Smith looking for Taylor, swept away by Yambi. Now Harrington chasing it down. Long-time Major League Soccer career. And he handcuffed Guillen with that pass. Harrington's MLS career goes back to the Kansas City Wizards.
Some of the best jerseys in Major League Soccer history.
Tambakis off his line. First player ever signed by Atlanta United, but never featured in an MLS match. Was loaned to Charleston for most of last season. Miller against Thompson. Richmond throw. Braden Troyer against Lomas. NCFC forwards really not had much of the way of touches early here. Travis Wara for Shinovsky. Lomas came off the bench in the first meeting and very nearly pulled out a road point for North Carolina. Getting on the end of a long ball early in stoppage time required an outstanding save from Travis Wara. David Bulow making his debut today after 18-plus seasons from Lee Cowlishaw, who remains in the Kickers front office. Colin Clark, who once played in a World Cup for Northern Ireland, now on the bench for NCFC. And he was the last man not named Lee Cowlishaw to coach the Kickers.
Yeah, it's kind of cool how it all goes full circle like that.
Here's William Yambi. His career almost stretches that far back.
Yeah, Coach Cowlishaw really did a phenomenal job stepping in 2000. 18 seasons, made 6 final championship appearances, 2 championships, a couple regular season championships. Well done by Raul Gonzalez, getting in between the defenders.
And now Shriver wide for Gonzalez. His service in. Headed clear by Connor Tobin. Now Alex Lee for Richmond. Kickers again an early lead. And NCFC chasing the game, something they've not done well this season, though they had a wild draw with Louisville last week. Gonzalez all the way back for Travis Wara. Thompson battling with Miller, who won it back to Tobin. DJ Taylor stumbled on that ball. Gonzalez an opportunity, looking for Cordovez. Cordovez service in, and Tambakis had to do work with Luis Fernando lurking on the doorstep.
That was a really good run by Luis right there to get in front into a dangerous situation, and Cordovez tried to pick him out, but Tambakis did a really good job of reading that cross and getting there first. And holding on to the ball. Brian Shriver was right there in case he spilled anything.
Harrington, North Carolina native, coming home after 11 seasons in MLS. Smith wide for Miller. Now Smith. Harrington. Here's Guillen. Deleuze. Becker wide for Guillen. Becker for Deleuze. Smith out to Taylor. Harrington. Deleuze back for Harrington. Now Becker. Deleuze. Fernando got a piece of that. Lee clears it along. That's off Troyer for an NCFC throw. Some extended possession there for North Carolina FC. They had a lot of possession against Louisville last week. That's been a sore point for the Kickers.
Yeah, already though, you can see the Kickers have a little bit more of a focus on possessing the ball instead of just trying to clear it and lump it forward to find Cordovez. They're really focusing on trying to keep possession, move it around, which especially on a day like today where it's really hot is going to help out.
Wara was able to deny Lomas a touch. Now Cordovez for Richmond, and the Kickers have numbers forward. Luis Fernando has space. Fernando's shot. Smartly played by Guillen. Now Alex Lee. Guam International for Lavity. Fernando. In for a Shriver header that winds up a goal kick.
It's a really good ball in there by Luis. The Kickers do a good job of keeping possession on this left side, and Luis steps up, finds a left-footed cross. It finds Brian Shriver's head in the box. It goes just wide.
Kickers really had a nice night in the air against Charlotte last week. Shriver's goal came on a header. There were 4 other opportunities in the air. David Bulow, maybe he's got some goalkeeper in him.
Yeah, we've had a couple sessions on the side.
A little sharper dresser than his predecessor, if I may go there.
Yeah, he's unfortunately a big Arsenal fan, and he loves Arsene Wenger. So I think he's taking a page out of the Wenger playbook and looking sharp on the sidelines.
Smith ball in, headed down by Shinovsky. Taylor with possession. Launched one for Deleuze, and Travis Wara had to be alert. Good energy early here from the Red Army.
Yeah, they always have energy, and I know they're coming in to support Coach Bulow and the Kickers. But well read there by Travis Wara. Does a good job of stepping to the ball and keeping it, and then deciding to let the team step up and not rush the offense.
Deleuze wins that ball. Rios. Again, Deleuze. Lomas. Out to Taylor. Wide for Miller. Here's Becker. And he was looking back post and a little too much on that one. Richmond goal kick forthcoming. Just about a quarter of an hour in. And once again, the Kickers at home, where they've been pretty good this year, striking very early. Javier Cordova's in the 4th minute. Luis Fernando. Alex Lee. Shriver. Troyer. Gonzalez, long ball for Cordovez. Now Fernando. Lee. Shriver found Cordovez, and now the flag is up for the offside.
That was well done by Richmond, but they're doing a good job, Scott Thompson on the left side, of staying really wide when the Kickers have the ball on the right. So if Gonzalez could have gotten the ball and turned, he could have gotten the ball wide left to Scott Thompson with a ton of space in front of him.
Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportsamerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50. Shinosky denies that Select soccer ball. And here's Thompson. Brian Shriver, the all-time leading goal scorer in NCFC history. First year as a kicker. Luis Fernando. Troyer, the University of South Carolina product. Back for William Yambi, who played at ODU. Gonzalez. Now Troyer. Shriver again. Lomas stepped in there. Guillen. Deleuze. Harrington. Looking for Lomas. Broken up by Shinosky. Recovered by Deleuze. Austin Guillen. Switching the field for Taylor. Finds Miller. Taylor on the overlap. And Miller plays it back for Smith. Now Harrington, and NCFC will regroup. 18th minute, and Richmond up 1-0. Harrington. That was picked off by Lee. Fernando. Troyer, and then Fernando had gone down, and Richmond gets a free kick.
The Kickers right now defensively are doing a really good job of staying really compact and closing down the passing lanes. There have been a couple times that NCFC's tried to play those balls in behind, and they're just picked off by either a midfielder or a defender in red. Yeah, Luis just getting an elbow there as he played the ball. It's the right call by the referee, absolutely.
Alex Lee launching a long free kick over Cordovez. And Athens, Greece native Alex Tambakis, who came up through Panathinaikos before moving to North America. Gets it restarted for NCFC. Here's Guillen, El Paso native, a little bit of MLS experience. Broken up by Troyer, but Guillen recovers. Now Becker. A long diagonal headed down by Thompson, but that will be NCFC's second corner of the match.
And that's handled well by Scott Thompson. It's a tricky ball into the box. For me, I'd rather have Travis Wara come out, command his 18-yard box. If he, his starting position's a little bit deep. If he's out a little bit further in the box, he'll make an easier decision to come out and just pick that one off. But really well done by Scott Thompson.
Becker plays the short corner for Taylor. He serves in, and Yambi able to deny Tobin. But it's another corner for North Carolina Football Club. Former Carolina Railhawks, they are in their first USL season. These two teams have some history, but it's just their second ever league meeting. Harrington, Smith, Harrington, and Wara over Yambi, and Yambi a bit shaken up, and boy, Wara may have a future in Australian rules football.
That's exactly what I was talking about, though. Travis is a big boy. I'd like to see him take a little bit more control of his box, and there are balls that are floated in.
Fernando battling with Deleuze. And Deleuze winds up committing a foul.
Yeah, it looks like it might have been just a little bit of a late call, so Yambi didn't really have the time to get out of the way, but Travis does a really good job of coming out, claiming the ball in the box, and holding onto it so there's no rebounds.
When you're going over the 6'5" Yambi, you're up in the air. Smith's ball deflected out by Fernando. NCFC throw. Now Guillen. Played college soccer at Florida Gulf Coast. Probing for Rios, who's had a quiet start to this one. Now Lomas. That was deflected by Troyer. I thought that was a handball, and we get the whistle.
Definitely was. Hand was in an unnatural position, kind of moved it to hit the ball. Gives NCFC a free kick in a pretty dangerous situation.
Kyle Becker will take it. Well, he stands over it with Guillen. Becker's had some international experience with his native Canada. Guillen takes it. Yambi headed it clear, but only as far as Miller. Deleuze! And that'll be a Richmond goal kick.
Yeah, it looked like Neil Lavity lost his man in the box there, and Deleuze had a free header in the box. Just couldn't quite get up enough. But the first clearance handled really well by Yambi to get the ball out, and then the second balls are usually a lot more dangerous because as a defender you tend to kind of tune off when that first ball is cleared, and sometimes you can lose your man.
Deleuze, a member of a Wake Forest national championship team before he was drafted by the New York Red Bulls. Gonzalez, Fernando. That's a good ball for Alex Lee. Now Shriver, and he has a go, but that winds up way up in the stands.
I'm really happy to see Luis Fernando in the starting lineup. He's a guy that, for me, the last couple games that he's played and had an opportunity, he's really taken advantage of it with his work rate and just how dangerous he is going forward.
Kickers up 1-0 on a fourth-minute goal by Javier Cordova is on outstanding service from Scott Thompson. Now Becker for NCFC. Plays it back for Tambakis. He's done all the goalkeeping for North Carolina FC this season. Though their backup, Guerrero, has had some Liga MX first team time. Connor Shinosky. Fernando. Now Lee, Troyer, Shriver back for Neil Lavity. Out to Thompson. Lavity switching the field for Alex Lee. Nice touch by the Maryland native. Back for Shinosky. The kickers will reshape. Travis Wara has dressed for DC United this season, but hasn't featured in an MLS game. Troyer. Now Fernando. And again, Richmond pushes forward. Way off for Thompson. Fernando plays it in. That was headed clear by Guillen, but only as far as Shriver. That was broken up by Taylor. Deleuze drops it back for Guillen, and he sweeps it out of immediate danger.
Another good attack by Richmond right there with Scott Thompson again getting forward from his left back position.
Now here's Cordova, already on the score sheet tonight. Fernando. Oh, a little too far for Shriver.
That's a really good look, though. Brian Shriver did a good job of just peeling off his defender a little bit and creating a little bit of space. If Luis could have just dropped it in a little bit closer to him. See how he kind of peeled off of the center back and just found that little bit of space.
The USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow at USL on Twitter. DJ Taylor looking for Miller, who runs out of field. Kickers an early goal, and that has often been the story here at City Stadium. I think this one was the earliest this season.
I think it was.
6 minutes in last week against North Carolina FC.
It's a good trend, moving in the right direction for Richmond fans. But
Yeah.
NCFC, it's always hard coming in and playing a team when it's if a team does make a coaching change in the middle of the season, that first game, because there's so much adrenaline and enthusiasm and everyone's trying to impress, and especially that first 10 minutes, they're going at it like gangbusters like the Kickers did. But things are starting to settle in, and NCFC settling in, getting a little bit more possession. Still to have a really dangerous look, though.
Troyer broke that up for Yambi. Now Connor Shinosky. Lavity all the way back for Travis Warham.
I think it's interesting how Dave Buelow picked the two most experienced center backs on the roster to start this first game. Really shows an emphasis on leadership, experience.
Kickers kind of blew up the back line last week with Braden Troyer back to center back. Austin Yearwood actually apparently a little nicked up in training, and he's not in the 18 tonight. Mikael Williams, he's available on the bench. Harrington for Guillen. Headed clear by Shinosky, but only as far as Smith. Out to Miller. Taylor making the overlap. Miller again. Now Becker. Deleuze. Guillen service in. Cleared out by Shinosky.
The one area I see NCFC having an opportunity is when the ball's on the right side. Austin Deleuze is doing a good job of kind of sneaking to the left.
Yambi headed that back post service clear, but only as far as Smith. Rios emerging for Lomas. His service headed out by Shinosky. Further forward by Gonzalez. And then Thompson plays it out for a Richmond throw. 28 minutes in. Would imagine we'll be getting a water break here in the next 90 seconds or so. Game time temperature was 90. A little drier heat maybe than the last couple of weeks.
Maybe they took the temperature in the shade and it was 89.4.
We've been right on the doorstep 3 weeks in a row of having a water break, and haven't had one since May.
Today feels like the hottest day so far, though.
It is the warmest game time temperature of the season. Here's Guillen for NCFC. Now the veteran Harrington. Out to Miller. Becker. Broken up by Thompson. Gonzalez off Taylor. Richmond throw. And NCFC wins a throw.
the Red Army.
They're getting it done tonight. I haven't seen the giant banner, though. They have a new banner that is about the size of the section. Harrington. Out to DeLuz. Now Smith. Becker. DJ Taylor. Miller. Well defended by Braden Troyer. Now Cordova is giving chase. Tambakis about a $30 Uber ride off his line.
Even while NCFC has this extended possession, the kickers are really compact in the back and making it hard.
Good tackle by Troyer. Triggered the counter, but it got away from Cordova as Tobin turns it along.
Yeah, I think he was trying to find Brian Shriver right there, and Cordovez didn't realize he was making a run in behind.
Here's DJ Taylor. And Miller won't be able to get on the end of that.
Yeah, so the kickers are dropping off and staying really, really compact, and there's really no space to play those balls in behind. The only areas they're going to find space is if they can switch the ball really quick to the far side. But NCFC hasn't done it yet.
They've also done a really nice job preventing Daniel Rios touches. And he is sizzling right now. 2 goals last week, a dramatic 87th minute goal. Fernando goes buccaneering forward. Now Thompson. Fernando. In for Shriver! And he just missed.
Luis Fernando just seems reborn right now. He's playing with energy, playing with excitement. By far the kicker's most dangerous player consistently tonight. But great little run down the left side. Looks up, finds an open Brian Shriver, who's him or Cordova is the 2 guys you'd be looking for in the box, and Brian just pulls it a little bit wide.
Fernando has been sort of enigmatic. But when he's been on this season, he has been dazzling. Shinosky up to win that header. Guillen turned it along, then Lavity played it forward, but a foul whistled against the kickers. Of course, Fernando began the year suspended. He committed a red card offense in the final game last season that kept him out the first 3 of this year, that included the first meeting between these 2 clubs, and didn't really get much run until the Open Cup. Then he had the 2-goal match against Penn FC in the Kickers Open Cup win here. DeLuz for Lomas. Harrington. Guillen. DeLuz broken up by Fernando. Guillen. Kickers up 1-0 on maybe a Cordovez goal in the 4th minute. DeLuz. Becker had to chase that down for Harrington. Now Becker switching the field for DJ Taylor. Taylor played it in. Rios got a piece of it, but it's cleared by Troyer. And Shriver stood up by Smith. Gonzalez drops it back for Thompson, who wound up playing it out. Oh, no water break.
No water break. I think they're not doing it tonight.
33 minutes in, 90 degrees of game time. Lomas in for Rios, said Wara was alert. Well, the first good opportunity for Daniel Rios tonight.
Yeah, and that would have been a really hard ball to finish. He actually was able to get in front of Connor Shinosky right there and get a touch, but didn't really have a good look clean on goal. Travis does a really good job of holding on to that ball and not spilling a rebound.
Cordova's got up to win the header, but nothing but personal pride out of that as Becker starts it forward.
Yeah, and that's one of the few times the kickers haven't been able to keep possession, and they've just kind of looked to go forward and lost it right away.
Shinofsky wins the header for Alex Lee. Troyer to Fernando. Lavity. Now back for Lee. Lomas got a touch. That's out for a Richmond throw. Fernando got away from Guillen. Shriver out to Gonzalez. Raul Gonzalez, University of Memphis product. Brian Shriver. Alex Lee has plenty of space. Now Lavity. Shinoski. Shriver for Gonzalez. Gonzalez patient, then took a rip that was blocked by Tobin.
I think it hit Cordovez on the way through.
It did. It's a goal kick forthcoming for NCFC.
Gonzalez just finding a little bit of space, didn't get closed down. Maybe after watching Di Maria today for Argentina, decided to have a go. But hits Cordovez on the way through and ends up a goal kick.
And Tambakis restarts play. Lavity up to head it forward. Cordovez, nice job to win that for Brian Shriver. A little too far for Cordovez. He keeps the possession going. Here's Fernando. And there's some miscommunication there.
Yeah, the front four for the Richmond Kickers, though, are playing really well together and combining and looking really dangerous. I don't think anyone really fault Fernando for taking a shot there, just trying to wrap it around to that far post, but a little bit of a miss hit.
Didn't think he was looking for a teammate to make a run there?
Don't think that one was a cross.
Here's DeLuz, now Becker. Harrington. DeLuz. Now Smith. DJ Taylor. Miller back for Taylor. Now Rios. Becker jumping up. Picks out DeLuz. Smith for Miller. That's headed out by Shinoski. Rios came away with it. Denied by Yambi, but a corner coming for NCFC.
It's a great tackle there by Yambi. It's the first time Rios has really gotten the ball and had any sort of space inside the box. Knew he was going for a shot, and Yambi did a really good job of sliding and getting in front of it right there. Braden Troyer's draped all over him. Rios is still able to turn and get a shot off, and Yambi blocks it.
Here's Becker. Harrington. Still 1-0 Richmond. DeLuz. Lomas chasing that down. DeLuz again. Guillen. Harrington. Smith. Guillen. Troyer there to restore some order. That trickles out for a North Carolina corner kick. Watch to get exclusive video content and photography from across the USL. Make sure to follow the league's official Instagram account at USL Soccer. Becker will strike the corner in the 39th minute as soon as the referee has properly restored some order. Rios and Shinoski wrestling a bit. Becker sends it in. That was headed clear by Lavity out to Taylor. Laid it off for Miller. He plays it in. It's squirted off Guillen in traffic.
NCFC is finally starting to find some gaps in there. Right there, Raul Gonzalez just doesn't really do a great job of seeing what's behind him and tracking his man as they run through. And a dangerous cross is put into the box. Looks like Braden Troyer got the last touch on it there in a good position.
And Becker will take the 4th NCFC corner of the night. Chased down by Smith. Harrington. Smith. Yambi up for that header. Becker plays it right back in. Yambi heads it right back out. North Carolina FC throw forthcoming.
Looks like the Kickers are getting ready to make a change. It's Coach Bulow talking to Oscar Umar on the sideline.
So Umar would be a late first half sub.
Not too sure if it's an injury or just something that he doesn't like that's going on out there.
You would think that would either mean Lavity or Troyer. '41st minute, and Lee shaken up.
Scott Thompson just sat down on the left side. He could be trying to deal with something. Alex Lee gets a little push afterwards.
And it may be Thompson coming out.
Yeah, it looks like Scott Thompson's got some sort of an injury. He's coming out, and Yambi with a good defensive clearance right there. But I would expect he takes Scott Thompson out, maybe puts Braden Troyer back at left back. Puts Oscar Umar into the middle.
Which would be his normal role. And Troyer has sort of been a fireman this season. Wherever the danger is, he shows up.
He's pretty much been doing that since he came to Richmond a couple of years ago.
So it's Umar for Thompson. First sub of the match in the 42nd minute. And Thompson, whose game got off to a bright start, maybe interrupted by an ailment as he walks off. And we'll see Umar, who scored Richmond's first goal this season.
And Umar's been a guy who's been really steady for the Kickers there in the middle the whole season. It's unfortunate for Scott Thompson, got an opportunity to play, show his stuff. Did really well for me. I thought he had a pretty solid 40 minutes and unfortunately has to go out.
So David Bulow's first sub as a first-team professional coach is not one that he would have planned to make. One that evidently was forced upon him.
And Braden Troyer did slot back to that left back position, which isn't a bad option to have.
Yeah, his versatility is really valuable. Guillen heading that out while battling with Fernando. And Richmond will throw it back in a little further up the field. NCFC's goal in the first meeting came very late in the first half. They led that game 1-0, and then the Kickers rallied late with goals in the 77th and 83rd minutes to squeeze out a 2-1 win. Here, 1-0 Richmond as Harrington plays forward. Deleuze. Wide for Miller. Taylor making the overlapping run. In for Lomas. Taken away by Lavity. Recovered by Tobin. Broken up by Gonzalez. Lavity up. That was headed forward by Smith to Becker.
And the Kickers are having a hard time of breaking the pressure now and keeping possession when they win the ball.
Miller plays in. Nobody available at the back post for NCFC. And Fernando with a little bit of space. Avoids one tackle. Looking now for Shriver. rolls it past Tambakis. And it trickles wide.
I think he was surprised to look up and see Tambakis there. Didn't really know what to do. Maybe could have taken a touch around him. Still had an opportunity to slide it into the open goal, but really good look there by Luis Fernando.
Meanwhile, NCFC pressing forward again. Miller gets around Troyer, sends it in, but again, nobody back post, and Fernando with possession. Two close misses for Ryan Shriver here in the first half. Lavity has some space. Out to Gonzalez.
It's important now for Richmond to just keep the ball for a little bit. They've been defending for the last 5 or 10 minutes consistently, expelling some energy. So now just keep the ball, make NCFC move side to side a little bit, and let the guys rest a little bit and look for a good opportunity.
3 minutes of first half stoppage time here, despite the absence of the water break. Fernando, Shriver, Cordovez, a little confused right there, and Taylor gets it out to Rios. Now Miller. Becker. Harrington jumping up. Deleuze with service in. Troyer got a piece of that, but Miller controls. Miller plays across. That was jammed out by Lee. Tobin keeps it alive for NCFC. Here's Taylor. Off Gonzalez for a throw. Still almost 2 minutes left of first half stoppage time. And Richmond gets the restart here. Troyer in for Shriver. Broken up by Taylor. Tobin. Now Harrington. Austin Deleuze. Smith for Becker. Tobin has to chase that. And we'll play it all the way back through Tambakis. About a minute 15 remaining in first half stoppage time. Richmond up 1-0. 4th minute goal by Cordovez. Guillen for Lomas. Now Rios. Was jabbed away by Yambi. Smith plays forward. Here's Miller. Edge of the area, Taylor, and Yambi got a piece of that, and Wara goes up like an NBA rebounder.
Yeah, it was well claimed right there by Travis Wara. That's exactly what he needed to do. Yambi does a good job of winning that first tackle, and the ball pops straight up. And instead of letting it just scramble around in the box, Travis does a good job of just coming out and claiming it. And you see Yambi step in front of the defender, give him time so that there was no one pressuring him.
Cordova is up to get a piece on that restart. And pressured, then colliding with Tambakis after Guillen got up, got a piece of that ball, was trying to play it back to his keeper. And
yeah, I don't know if that's a foul right there. Tambakis again kind of started to come out for that through ball, decided not to. Tries to get a ball headed back, and I think Cordovez was just going for it. Anticipates the header back, and collision. Don't know if there's really much of a foul right there.
Cordova is playing the ball, and the follow through. A foot in the solar plexus there. Cordova is going to get a little lecture. Let's see how much more time we have. Already having burned through the 3 extra.
Yeah, this should be about it as the ball gets played. Expect the whistle to blow.
And that's it. 45 minutes into David Bulow's professional head coaching career, and so far so good. The Richmond Kickers striking early through AVL Cordovez take a 1-0 lead over NCFC at halftime here in Richmond.
Don't miss out. It's the final days of Nissan Now. Hurry in for big savings on road with ProPilot Assist that helps keep you centered in your lane. The technology of tomorrow, available today. This is your last chance to save on America's best-selling SUV and our entire lineup. It's time for an upgrade. Hurry into Nissan Now. Exclusive offers and this event end April 2nd. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on 13 models or save up to $10,500 on select models.
Make time to escape to the coast and enjoy 60 miles of beautiful beaches and let the sound of the ocean's tide take you to your happy place. Now's the perfect time to book your spring getaway to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Besides, you deserve it. Seize your moment now and come, let go, and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach time.
She works as a meteorologist at CBS 6, but Nikki D. Ray does all kinds of jobs. Roll call.
I'm Nikki D, the construction worker. I'm Nikki D, the insurance agent. I'm Nikki D, the doctor. I'm Nikki D, the fast food cook. I'm Nikki D, the referee. Car driver.
Nikki D, Can You Be Me? On CBS 6 this morning.
Richmond Kickers versus RCD Español. They conquered Real Madrid. They defeated Atlético de Madrid. La Liga is coming to City Stadium July 25th. La Liga in RBA. Get tickets now at richmondkickers.com.
Then we are back at City Stadium in Richmond at halftime. John Emmett with Ronnie Pascal. Richmond Kickers with a 1-0 lead over North Carolina Football Club. The Kickers striking early. Aviel Cordova is in the 4th minute, giving new Kickers head coach David Bulow and his team a little breathing room.
Yeah, it was a good half for Richmond. They came in, they looked to attack right from the beginning. There's a great ball in by Scott Thompson, who was given a chance to play. And Cordova, that's not an easy finish. To get across your defender, hit the ball one time left-footed like that, and hit it solid. So great start for Richmond, great start for Coach Bulow.
An early test for Travis Warup. The Kickers are responding with some strong counters.
Yeah, Luis Fernandez looked dangerous all night. Almost every time the Kickers had an opportunity, Luis was involved in it one way or another. And the NCFC, they've had really extended spells of possession, but really haven't had many dangerous opportunities. I think the Kickers have looked pretty good defensively and have really frustrated the NCFC attack.
That might have been their best opportunity when they popped the header over the bar.
Yeah, I really like how the front four for Richmond is playing together and looking to be dangerous, and they're playing with a little bit of freedom. It looks like they're not scared to make mistakes, and they're really looking to get forward.
Luis Fernando's been everywhere.
And that's one 9 times out of 10 you expect Brian Schreiber to at least hit that on target and make the goalkeeper make a save.
He had 3 first-half opportunities. Good defending there from Braden Troyer, who's already been pressed into his 2nd role of the night.
Yeah, and here's the last opportunity for Brian Schreiber. I think kind of gets caught off guard, seeing Tembakas that far off his line, kind of in no man's land, and just pushes it a little bit wide. But overall, it's a good half by Richmond. I think NCFC, at the end, you could tell Richmond was starting to get a little bit tired. It's a hot night out. They were finally starting to find a couple gaps, but even with that, they never had anything that was really an opportunity you would say, wow, they really should have scored that one.
And the Kickers enjoying a 1-0 lead in a game that's a 6-pointer and then some. You've got 2 teams on the outside looking into the playoff chase for the Kickers. Their last home match for 3 weeks. They are the teams that currently sit to 13th and 14th in the Eastern Conference table. So this is a matter of some desperation. And through 45 minutes, the home team striking early. And North Carolina FC has had difficulty rallying, though they did late last week to get a tie with the defending champs. Kickers up 1-0 at the break. More halftime next on CBS 6.3 and ESPN+.
salute is certainly in the works. Thank you, Marcel. Marcel Schaefer playing it. Can he service one in? Goal! Leon Taylor for Marcel Schaefer.
There's no question we've had our fair share of impressive free kicks this season.
Van Aving. Off the crossbar and in, and it's 1-0 Reno. Here comes Malcolm, takes a shot, and he scores! Shane Malcolm off the free kick! Puts Switchbacks FC on top. He lines this up, he's gonna drill it hard. Curling ball, it's in, it's tied to 2-2. What a free kick. Really looks interesting. Here is Jose curling it! Sensational strike! Enter now, pocket of space. Deflected strike. That's a fantastic save.
Dykstra just rolled through Mark. Ball still loose in the area.
Left foot, Van Ogle had to come up with the save.
Good build-up play. Wakaso shoots. Great save by Nelson.
Now it's going to be Bajavan. Outsprawled. Gomez comes up with a big six.
In space. This is way back across for White. Saved by Crapo.
Sanovic on his left. Seth Sanovic. Shot on goal. It's in. Cameron Owasso with number 6 on the year.
Shipolati staying with it. Shipolati back across. Yes. And how about North Carolina FC? Got some help. This is a shot that finds the back of the net. Upper last man back in. It will be Reed who will score again. Reed inside the 18. Left-footed strike. It is a hat trick. For number 30.
Shot comes on, and Akira able to use his fists.
Omar can't finish. Great save of the left foot there by Marcinkowski.
Don't miss out. It's the final days of Nissan Now. Hurry in for big savings on Rogue with ProPilot Assist that helps keep you centered in your lane. The technology of tomorrow, available today. This is your last chance to save on America's best-selling SUV and our entire lineup. It's time for an upgrade. Hurry in to Nissan Now. Exclusive offers and this event end April 2nd. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on 13 models or save up to $10,500 on select models.
Make time to escape to the coast and enjoy 60 miles of beautiful beaches and let the sound of the ocean's tide take you to your happy place. Now's the perfect time to book your spring getaway to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Besides, you deserve it. Seize your moment now and come, let go, and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach time.
Richmond Kickers versus RCD Español. They conquered Real Madrid. They defeated Atlético de Madrid. La Liga is coming to City Stadium July 25th. La Liga in RBA. Get tickets now at richmondkickers.com.
And we are back at City Stadium in Richmond. The Kickers enjoying a 1-0 lead over North Carolina Football Club in the second of three meetings between these teams. John Emmett along with Ronnie Pascal. Big story, of course, tonight for the Kickers. They are coached by someone other than Lee Kalishaw for the first time in the 21st century, as after 18-plus years, he now will concentrate on his front office job. Former Kickers player, assistant coach, and academy coach David Bulow is now the head man on the Kickers sideline, and it's one of a spate of coaching changes that have taken place over the course of the season for different reasons around the USL, and maybe the wildest one is Louisville, where they win a championship and head coach gets promoted to Major League Soccer and to take over at Orlando City, and that's a pretty reasonable move. But what Louisville did in response is interesting.
Yeah, so Coach O'Connor got the head coaching job and took his assistant with him, and Louisville decided to go with 3 player/head coaches by committee. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. It could end up being a new fad. I don't know. It kind of has disaster written all over, but it could be something good, and it could be a short-term solution until they find a head coach that they're looking for. But here in Richmond, I think the Kickers handled the news, the real surprise news of Coach Kalashaw stepping down really well. Said that they had someone that they were going to announce the following day, announced Coach Bulow. So it gave enough time for people to pay tribute to Coach Kalashaw and kind of wrap their head around it. And then put the spotlight on Coach Bulow as kind of him taking over his reign. But you can't say enough for what Lee Kalashaw has done for the Kickers. For me, the most impressive stat is in his 18 years, the Kickers only missed the playoffs twice, and that's pretty impressive.
In a really growing and ever more competitive second division landscape with the USL getting ready to roll out a third division next season with you see some MLS reserve sides as well as a number of expansion teams from around the southeast to start, a little bit in the Midwest as well. They're looking for 12 to 16 teams. Tucson, Greenville, South Carolina, Madison, and Statesboro, Georgia, the marvelously named Tormenta Football Club, already have announced Dallas looks like they're going to have a FC Dallas reserve side in that league. It appears that Toronto will also field their reserve side in the third division with the rollouts of more expansion teams coming up over the course of the next 4 to 5 weeks as USL's third division takes shape heading into the 2019 campaign. Meanwhile, here the Richmond Kickers enjoying a 1-0 lead over North Carolina Football Club, and halftime stats are presented by Valpak. Valpak.com is your 24/7 source for nonstop savings on hundreds of Richmond area businesses and local restaurants. Don't have the famous blue envelope with you? Download the free Valpak app for even easier savings. Valpak.com. It is like printing money. I think it jumps out for me, Ronnie, is shots 9-5. Kickers created chances while NCFC had some possession but had difficulty converting that into chances.
Yeah, and a lot of times, especially when you're playing in hot weather like this, you're okay giving up possession as long as it's not dangerous possession. So I think the Kickers really focused, and especially the first half, of when NCFC had the ball, drop back, be really compact, make it really hard to get behind them. It almost reminded me of Uruguay a little bit. Uruguay goes 3 games in the World Cup without being scored, and that's what they do. They pack it in really, really tight. They try to make sure that it's really hard to get in behind, really hard to find passing angles through you, and make it difficult. So while the Kickers didn't have a majority of possession, and maybe probably not as much as they wanted, they did have more shots, which as a Kickers fan, I'm sure the Red Army was really excited about that. And for me, they weren't just all shots from 30 yards out. They were dangerous shots that honestly probably they should have done better with and scored a couple more goals.
Appears neither club will offer a sub as we get set for the second half. NCFC will continue with Alex Tambakis in goal, Aaron Guillen, Michael Harrington, Connor Tobin, DJ Taylor across the back. In the midfield, Austin DeLuz, Graham Smith, Kyle Becker, Stephen Miller. And then the 2 up front in their 4-4-2, Marios Loomis and Daniel Rios. Kickers had to make a late first half sub as Scott Thompson was nicked up and then replaced by Umar. So the Kickers will go Troyer, Yambi, Shinosky, and Lee in the back. Umar Lavity, Fernando Shriver, Gonzalez in a midfield with Cordovez up top. And the final 45 is underway. Connor Shinosky, speculative ball for Cordovez. And then he ran over Smith, and a free kick forthcoming for NCFC. Referee Mr. Tattersall did not issue a caution in the opening 45.
And I don't mind that at all by Cordovez right there. I think he, as the first half wore on, he made it a little bit too easy for defenders to win the ball. He's a big physical forward. He's got to be the target and the outlet for the kickers, and he's got to be able to hold it up. So I've got no problem with him flexing his muscles a little bit right there.
Here's Braden Troyer. Broken up by Taylor. Lavity recovering, then boot got up high on Troyer as he was tussling with Miller.
Yeah, it looks like Miller just showed his studs a little bit there, and Braden Troyer, as he was trying to clear the ball, caught it on the top of his foot, and that hurts. Yeah, he just came through with his stud showing. That's definitely a foul in my book. I think it's the right call, and hopefully Braden can just walk it off. I would imagine he will.
Troyer gets an immediate touch. Yambi plays it all the way back for Travis Wara. Headed forward by Taylor. Miller gets a piece. Here's Rios. Rios trying to play a little 1-2 with Miller, but it's a Richmond throw. Just underway second half, City Stadium. Kickers up 1-0. Brian Shriver, a little space. Closed down by Tobin, who commits a foul.
Yeah, good turn by Brian. It looked like he was trying to find Fernando, who was making a good run down that right side, trying to open up and create some space.
Lavity will restart. Shinowski for Alex Lee. Luis Fernando. Lee went down, a little slow getting back up. Fernando dashing through traffic, but his pass for Shriver taken away by Miller. Now Smith. Guillen. Austin DeLuz. Smith back for Harrington. Now Connor Tobin, who was out injured early in the year. NCFC's had some tough luck with center backs thus far this season. Thibaut Douillet out hurt tonight with the hamstring injury. He's not in the 18. No opportunity there, was whistled out for a foul before DeLuz was able to get that header on Travis Wara.
Yeah, and the kickers kind of dodged the bullet there as NCFC DeLuz wide left was wide open.
Wara restarts. Fernando trying to hold up, and that was broken up by Guillen. Now Rios stood up by Yambi, and Shriver has some space. A couple of players down behind the play. One of them is Rios, the other Lavity, and that's out for an NCFC throw.
Yeah, that was weird. Looked like Rios kind of did the full body throw to try to stop Lavity right there. I'm surprised the ref didn't call a foul.
Becker stumbled a bit. Giveaway for Shriver, now Cordovez. Becker looks like he might be hobbled a bit. Cordovez has Gonzalez wide. Gonzalez against Tobin. That Tambakis had the angle there.
Yeah, we'll call that an ambitious shot. Maybe had a better option to try to find Cordovez or Fernando or even Shriver coming into the box a little bit late. He could have rolled it back to him for a better shot, but I think he tried to see if Tambakis was cheating a little bit, but Tambakis did a good job of holding position and holding onto the ball.
Miller has some space wide. Miller around Troyer. Lay off for Taylor. But an offside whistle. Troyer's got his hands full with Stephen Miller.
Yeah, it's going to be a good battle the rest of the second half.
Miller, a former Montreal Impact draftee. Played a little bit in Denmark. Spent some time with Wilmington and Tulsa. Here's Shinowski. Lavity. Oscar Umar. Broken up by DeLuz. Lomas. Becker for Deleuze. Becker again. Tobin for Rios. Now Smith. Becker for Deleuze. Service in, and Wara right there. And a chance for Umar to run around a little bit. And he finds Shriver. Kickers have numbers. Here's Cordovez. But the runner's late.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a shot or a cross. I think he was trying to shoot the ball. Maybe mishit it a little bit. Goes out for a throw-in. But the Kickers look dangerous on the counterattack. It's that front four. As soon as they win the ball, they all just break forward and try to attack. And they're looking really dangerous, but they haven't been just as sharp as they were in the first half yet.
Miller for Becker. His service clipped down by Yambi, and Wara able to subdue it. Umar has some room. Now Shriver. Kickers finding space in the middle of the park. Here's Gonzalez. Shriver has well defended by Smith, and then Gonzalez taking Smith down, and NCFC gets the restart.
Yeah, Gonzalez has to play that ball a lot sooner. He kind of danced on it, did a couple step overs, and then tried to find Shriver. By that point, NCFC had recovered, and he was right on there. But Gonzalez tries to recover, win the ball back, and commits a foul.
Now Becker for North Carolina FC. Harrington. Guillen. Harrington switching the field for DJ Taylor. Taylor against Troyer. Broken up by Alex Lee. Now Troyer. Gonzalez. Picked off by Harrington. Miller.
That's what was happening in the end of the first half. Is Cordova is just letting his defender step right in front of him. He's got to find him and get in position and put his body on him.
Guillen around Fernando. Becker, one touch for Rios. Now Guillen plays wide for Miller. Here's Becker. Miller. Smith. Now Deleuze. Becker. Harrington. Rios. DJ Taylor. Harrington wide for Miller. Miller tracked by Troyer. Mikael Williams is getting set to become Richmond's second sub of the night. He's loosening at the touchline. Fernando, nice job to pick that ball off. And here comes Cordovez on the counter. Cordovez has Shriver. Brian Shriver. Not Cordovez fans, but kept possession. And now he'll have a go, but that does not overly tax Tambakis.
Another good opportunity by Richmond on the counterattack.
And some solid late defending by NCFC to close Shriver down. Lomas. A little too much for Miller. And now we'll get the sub. Williams for Shinovsky.
It's well held by Tambakis on the shot. It could have been a lot more dangerous. Ends up being a pretty meaningless shot by Cordovez from the top of the box.
So Mikael Williams replacing Connor Shinovsky. Williams, a Trinidad and Tobago international with Major League Soccer experience. Last 2 years, Colorado Rapids. And Shinovsky goes out in the 55th minute.
Yeah, Shinosky played well. He put a lot into the 55 minutes, defended really well. Looked like he was getting a little bit tired, and maybe Coach Beulah wanted to go for a little bit more athleticism in the back to help close things up the last 35 minutes of the game.
Nice job by Umar to get the ball wide for Troyer. Now here's Fernando. He beats one man, Shriver. Williams gets his first touch. Alex Lee.
Yeah, Alex Lee and Braden Troyer switched sides during that sub.
Here's Gonzalez. That winds up staying in.
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity right there by Richmond. Great ball across by Raul Gonzalez, but nobody was making that far post run.
Smith out to Lomas. Drops it back for Becker. Picked off by Williams. Now Fernando. Fernando winds up in a wrestling match following the nutmeg. He and Guillen in a heap. And let's see how this one gets adjudicated.
That was interesting.
Foul on Fernando.
It was. He definitely tried to pull him back. I think they each kind of locked arms. They each kind of went down, but majority of times they're going to call that one on the attacking player. Good sportsmanship in the end.
Now DJ Taylor approaching the hour mark. Kickers cling to a 1-0 lead. Rio stood up by Troyer. Lavity picks out Fernando, but he was unable to maintain possession to lose. Now Becker. Becker dashing. Becker!
Good save by Travis Warr right there down to his right. Becker hit that pretty well. The ball seemed to be dipping away from him, swerving a little bit, and Travis was able to get down and get two fingertips to it to wrap it around the post.
And is offering some helpful defensive hints for his fullbacks.
Yeah, you see nobody steps to him. Becker beats that first line, the midfielders, and the defenders are dropping. No one steps to him, so he's got time to take a couple more touches and have an open shot.
In the corner, headed home to level this match at 1. Austin DeLuz scores his second of the year.
Well, you can see it's been coming. NCFC's come out. They've been the sharper of the two teams. Just a set piece. Great ball whipped into the box. DeLuz gets a diving header, is able to win, get to the ball first, and tuck it into the far post.
22nd career professional goal for Austin DeLuz, the Wake Forest product.
It might have been Alex Lee. Looked like Alex Lee got a touch to it when it was coming in. Don't know how they're going to score that one, if it'll be an own goal or if it'll be a goal for DeLuz.
Well, we'll wait for the announcement. Bottom line is we are level at 1 as Taylor goes up for that header. Now Umar. Braden Troyer. Umar picked out Shriver. That's taken away by Taylor. He's pressured by Gonzalez. Throw for NCFC. So just about an hour in, tied at 1. North Carolina Football Club last week, a dynamic first 20 minutes or so, had a lead, then fell behind 2-1, but salvaged a point at home with an 87th minute goal. They've got a couple of weapons on the bench. Becker played it forward. Nice touch from Lomas. DeLuz galloping forward. That was broken up by Umar. And Smith with the tackle. Now Becker. Guillen. DeLuz on the overlap. Guillen with service that was deflected. Williams up to head it clear, but a foul coming. Yep, it is an own goal.
Yeah, it looked like Alex Lee on the far post tried to clear it and kind of mishit it, and it went in.
So the Kickers charged with the own goal on what I thought might be a diving header by Deleuze. Alex Lee got a piece of that after the Deleuze header. And
yeah, skimmed off his shin and unfortunately went in. It's unfortunate, but I wouldn't say it's not unearned by NCFC. They've had by far the better of the possession, the better of the chances this half, and it's something that's kind of been coming the last 30 minutes of the game.
Becker with the free kick in, and that's deflected home. And NCFC has a 2-0 lead. Deleuze got a piece of that one. So goals less than 3 minutes apart. Both off set pieces. And David Bulow's debut has suddenly gone the other way.
It's another really good ball whipped in by NCFC. End up having an open header inside the 6-yard box. So for me, Travis Warr has to come out and claim that ball. You can't let a ball whipped in from 25 yards out into your 6-yard box.
Yeah, Deleuze again had the first header. I think that might have grazed Tobin last. It kind of.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but I mean, either way, you shouldn't have two unmarked players inside the 6 on a free kick. With that being said, if I'm a goalkeeper in that situation, I'm coming out and I'm making my presence felt.
Fernando earns a free kick for Richmond, and now NCFC getting set to make their first substitution of the match. Marcel Canziora, native of Germany, about to come on. Deleuze did get credit for the second one. And Becker has the assist on the go-ahead goal as Cordova is held up there by Harrington. Tambakis claims. Becker broken up by Lavity. Fernando. Umar found Gonzalez. Now Lavity. Fernando. Tackled by Deleuze. That's a Richmond throw, but we'll get the sub first. Canziora will replace Lomas. Imagine this will reshape NCFC into a 4-5-1.
Yeah, now that they've got the lead, again, a hot night. Don't know if I would really change the way they're playing. The Kickers are still dropping off and giving them possession. But maybe just when Richmond gets it, drop back a little bit quicker and try to make it harder to counterattack, because that seems to be really when the Kickers are most dangerous, is winning the ball and going quick on that counterattack.
Well, the Kickers have had several opportunities late in the first half and one here in the second where they've not been able to get the ball on frame, and now it really hurts with 2 goals in 3 minutes by North Carolina Football Club. Deleuze kept that alive, but Fernando comes out of the pack. A nice little ball sends Fernando galloping forward. Gonzalez. That was well defended.
Another good opportunity for Richmond. They win the ball. Luis Fernando and Cordovez combine again really well. Ends up a 3-on-2 inside the 18-yard box, and they're not able to get a decent shot off. It is. You see this all the time with soccer where you get one team that has a couple chances early on in the game. They're not able to put them away. The other team's able to survive, and it always comes back to bite them. But credit to NCFC. They made some adjustments with their tactics in the second half, and they're playing well.
Yeah, they've earned a free kick in the middle of the park. Tobin and Deleuze with some strong defending to deny Richmond's last opportunity. Lee goes down. Kickers come away with possession, but now we get the whistle for the foul and a Richmond free kick coming.
Yeah, it's well done by the ref. He let it play on a little bit, see if the Richmond had the advantage. When they realized they didn't, he blew it for the foul, but Alex Lee's definitely fouled right there.
Yambi for Troyer. Back to William Yambi. Lavity. Over Shriver. Harrington knocked it down for Taylor. Now Tambakis, they pass a little line, and Tambakis able to clear. Yambi wins the header, but only as far as Deleuze. And Ziora getting his first touch. Back for Harrington. Now Smith. Deleuze. Smith out wide for Taylor. Now Miller. Smith back for Harrington. Deleuze. And Ziora for Tobin, who sends it all the way back to Tambakis. 67th minute, now the Kickers chasing the game. Deleuze for Guillen. Picks out Becker. And Ziora. Miller. And Ziora lays it off for Becker. He looks to the edge of the area, headed down by Yambi, but only as far as Canziora. That winds up well out of play. A pair of headers off set pieces by Austin Deleuze, one of which wound up an own goal. And NCFC rallying, which they have not done all season after conceding a first goal. They lead 2-1, 68th minute. But Alex Lee for Gonzalez. Finds Shriver. Too far for Fernando. How well do you know the USL? Test your knowledge at USLsoccer.com's weekly picks competition every Tuesday. You can win tickets to an upcoming USL game of your choice. Smith found Miller for Becker, broken up by Lavity. Yambi has to play it back for Wara. Now Mikel Williams. Alex Lee. Fernando for Umar. Picked off by Smith. Now Miller. And Ziora. Deleuze. Guillen. There's a giveaway for Cordovez. Shriver. And that was picked off by Rios. Lavity trying to win it back. Guillen. Deleuze. Smith. Becker. Smith trying to pick Miller out. Troyer interrupting with the header for Gonzalez. Oscar Umar. Now Lavity. Cordovez. Cordovez service blocked by Taylor, but Richmond going to get a corner kick in the 71st minute, their first of the game.
It's good defending there by NCFC. First time Richmond in this half really has been able to keep possession for an extended period of time. Got Cordova's 1v1 out wide and wasn't able to beat his man.
Shriver will take it. Headed clear by Canziora, but only as far as Umar. That was cleared by Guillen. Rios plays it back for Guillen. One back by Lee. Umar. Braden Troyer.
Umar had an opportunity there when the ball popped out to play it back to Brian Shriver, who had a ton of space on this left side. Instead chose to try to go to the right side and got it picked off.
Now Troyer. Kickers getting set to make their final sub, and that'll be Udai Imura. Yambi jumping up. Fernando. Alex Lee. Service in, headed out by Smith. Becker trying to turn it the other way. Opportunity for Miller, but Williams got there first.
What a great tackle by Williams right there.
Mikael Williams, 2 years in MLS. And that's what earned him those paychecks as well as international time.
It's an important tackle too. He had to make sure if he misses the ball right there, it's probably going to be a red card. But really well-timed tackle by Mikael Williams.
Here's Alex Lee. Yambi. Lavity. Shriver back for Gonzalez, who's lined up more centrally here. Umar. Broken up by Guillen. Smith turns it ahead. Harrington back out to Guillen. Now Canziora. Chased down by Lee.
So for me, Richmond needs to go back to playing simple options. Right there, Lavity got the ball. Could have played it wide to Braden Troyer. Looked at him, decided to go the opposite direction, and that's where all the NCFC defenders were. Simple passes are going to open things up when you've got teams that are packed in like NCFC is doing right now.
Troyer finally gets a touch. Now Gonzalez.
That's a good ball.
Here's Luis Fernando. Well defended by Canziora. Lee back for Lavity. Now Umar giving chase. Gonzalez. Williams out to Yambi. 74th minute. Kickers down a goal. Yambi for Lee. Fernando. Headed down by Harrington. Lee creates a turnover. Lavity. Umar. Troyer. Troyer thought there was a handball. Now we get the whistle.
Yeah, it looked like it hit his hand, was a little bit extended. Is that Taylor for NCFC?
Taylor.
Right on the edge of the box, gives the kickers a free kick in a pretty dangerous spot, almost the same spot where NCFC's. Interesting to see who Udai comes in for. So Raul Gonzalez seems to be struggling with a little bit of, I don't know if it's a knock or if he's just tired from the work he put in tonight. The ball.
Maybe a little push on Canziora.
I don't know if maybe St. Oscar Umar had a hold of him, but it looked like he kind of got sandwiched.
Shriver's going to come off here. So it's Imura for Shriver. 76th minute.
There's another angle of it. Tim Bacchus does a really good job of getting out there and getting a fist, but Looked like the ref was always going to call a foul on that one.
Gonzalez wins that battle for Umar. Now Lavity. But play stops as there is an injured kicker. Gonzalez slow to get up, and the kickers are now out of subs. Murrah making his appearance in the 76th minute, the third and final Richmond change. Want to keep up with the best social media from around the USL? Join Kelsey Steele every Friday on the USL's social media channels for the latest edition of Off the Post.
And this could be trouble for the kickers. I think it's the same foot that Raul Gonzalez was kind of favoring right before that sub. Goes in with his right foot and just kind of, they both kicked it at the same time.
Took the knock from Rios, and if Gonzalez cannot continue, the kickers will play short for the final 12 minutes plus added time.
Yeah, and he looks like he's in a bit of pain right now.
David Bulow trying to find some inspiration in his debut as head coach. If you're looking for positives, the kickers were down a goal in just about the identical spot in the first meeting with the NCFC. Gonzalez walking off to the near sideline. Looks like he'll try to continue when he's waved back on. Folks in the bar having a good time tonight.
The Red Army's still being loud. They're having a good time over there trying to cheer on the kickers. Coach Bulow's debut.
NCFC will play the ball back to Richmond to restart following the injury. Gonzalez jogging around. He'll it's like trying to give it a go here momentarily. First Troyer with the tackle on Miller that's whistled, and a free kick coming for North Carolina.
It's the bad first touch by Braden Troyer, not something you see very often, and forced the foul. Raul Gonzalez doesn't really have much of a choice, does he?
He's going to have to try. Free kick for NCFC, 79th minute. Becker the short restart for Taylor. All the way back to Harrington. Tambakis restarts the other way. Lee took a knock trying to win that header.
Yeah, it looked like he took an elbow to the back of the head as that ball was in the air, going up to challenge it from behind.
And the kickers quickly restart. Williams, Udayamura. Williams for Gonzalez. Normally plays out on a wing, but in the second half is lined up pretty centrally. Lee trying to run down that ball from Travis Warren, and it winds up in the seats.
I'll tell you what, if the one of the kickers wants an opportunity to impress their new coach, they've certainly got in front of him. See if someone can step up and score a goal, tie the game up.
Harrington wrestling with Umar. NCFC throw forthcoming. Emil Cordova has scored in the 4th minute. Richmond led until early in the second half. That 2 goals off set pieces in about 3 minutes, both created by Austin DeLue's headers. And North Carolina up 2-1. Udayamura dispossessed. Becker for DJ Taylor.
So NCFC is doing a really good job this half of getting numbers around the ball when the kickers have it, making it really hard for them to have any opportunities to go forward.
Miller back for Taylor. That winds up a Richmond throw. Nine minutes and stoppage time left here. Troyer out for Cordovez. Finds a little room and then picks Alex Lee out. Fernando, much quieter second half. Braden Troyer. Gonzalez looking for Lee. Oscar Umar. Fernando. Umar back for Lavity. Imura. Lee giving chase. Lee keeps it alive. Ooh. Imura played in. Headed out by Tobin. And the shot chopped wide. Miller is down in the box.
Falls to Gonzalez, who does a good job of getting it on its left foot and just doesn't hit all of it. Trying to say it took a deflection, doesn't look like it did, but Alex Lee did a really good job on the right side of getting past this guy, and then he laid it off for Udai, but hit it a little bit hard. If he could have laid it off a little bit better, it would have given Udai a little bit better chance to strike something on target.
Stephen Miller, the NCFC player, down in the box. They've made only one sub tonight. Miller, a seventh-year pro out of Colgate. Watch highlights from every game of the 2018 USL season and bonus content from around the league by subscribing to the league's official YouTube channel at youtube.com/USL. Miller hobbles to the bench. A couple of guys getting loose. T. Cipollini, who was outstanding off the bench last week in the rally against Louisville City, is walking around with his jersey on, but has not reported yet to the touchline.
Yeah, he's a guy who's got a lot of experience. One of the all-time minutes played leaders for NCFC. Started his career for the now defunct Harrisburg City Islanders. I don't know if they're defunct. They're Penn FC now.
Yeah,
does that count?
They rebranded. Here's Gonzalez. Imura. And that was broken up by Tobin. Richmond throw, 85th minute. There will be, I think, some fairly substantial stoppage time.
Yeah, there should be. There have been a couple injuries this half, a couple goals.
Gonzalez throws it into Lavity. Gonzalez serves it in. Cordovez got a piece. Fernando trying to keep it alive. Lavity. Imura for Gonzalez. Broken up by Taylor. Richmond putting a little pressure on here, but that throw was easily cleared by Anziora, and now a foul. Williams making contact with Rios, and it's a free kick for NCFC. We'll get Cipollini coming on here. Oh, the fourth official does not have his board, so not going to happen on this whistle. Or maybe it will.
Here it is. So Ty's a guy who comes in, brings a lot of athleticism, a lot of speed, and a ton of experience.
And he will replace Becker. Second substitution for NCFC. So Becker, part of a championship team in San Francisco last season, leaves the match. Cipollini takes over.
Becker had a good night. He served some really dangerous balls in. Did a good job of switching the ball around the field for NCFC. pretty important guy in keeping possession for him.
Deleuze for Guillen, back for Deleuze. Cipollini. That was flipped away by Umar. Gonzalez playing forward. Cordovez giving chase with Tobin, and Tambakis way out to just clear it. Kickers trying to restart quickly here. Lavity for Troyer. And now they'll reshape through Williams. 87th minute. Kickers looking for a tying goal. Lavity. Umar unable to chase that down.
It's not a bad idea by Lavity there to look for that diagonal ball. Alex Lee didn't make the run.
So a throw for NCFC, and they are in no tearing hurry to take it.
Plethora of experience on this team. I wouldn't expect them to be in much of a rush. They probably know how to kill off a game.
Guillen with the restart, headed forward by Yambi. Imura got a piece of it. And Umar with the good header, but it trickles back to Tambakis. And Tambakis dallying. 88th minute. Be a big win for NCFC if they hang on. Here's Deleuze. Rios. He went down under the Lee challenge, but Lee's clearance was broken up. Then Umar, hard tackle that's whistled for a foul. And Ziora went down, and you already had an injured NCFC player on the Lee challenge.
Yeah, I think he's trying to say he got hit in the face when Alex Lee came in to challenge him. But they get a free kick in pretty much the same spot they scored off of earlier in the half.
Rios and Canziora both back up. And in the 89th minute, NCFC with a dangerous free kick and a 2-1 lead. Guillen serves it in, and Mora handles it. Lavity looking for Cordovez, headed away by Tobin. Smith plays it back for Taylor. Troyer got ahead to that, and Williams lets it roll back to Travis Wara. 90th minute, Kickers down a goal. William Yambi. Be the first time he's played 90 all year. Umar. It's not bad for a guy who's, what, about 98% retired this winter?
I would say probably 99.9. He's done well. He's looked good back there. And really, I mean, besides those two free kicks where NCFC scored, Kickers have looked pretty good defensively.
Well, we have 5 minutes of added time here. So a little bit of an opportunity for the Kickers. They try to get forward. Imura for Alex Lee. Williams. Gonzalez. Fernando. Service in, headed clear by Tobin. And a foul whistle as Lavity was about to rifle it back in.
I think he called offsides on someone.
Yep, it wasn't offside. Assistant referee on the far side had the flag up.
But Richmond really hasn't done much to be dangerous in the last 15 minutes. They haven't really had a good opportunity.
NCFC has one sub remaining, and they'll make it momentarily. Donovan Iwolo came in late in the first meeting and created a couple of scoring chances. He's getting set to enter. Lee up for the header. Williams plays forward. Anziora got a piece of that. Deleuze. Anziora, Deleuze, little 1-2. Anziora keeps it alive against Lavity. Now it's out for a Richmond throw. And we'll get the stoppage for the substitution. Rios night is over. This will be a like-for-like change. Uomo, a striker by trade.
Yeah, I think this is more of a time-wasting sub than anything else by Colin Clark.
And Rios will savor the moment heading for the bench.
He's definitely not in much of a rush, is he?
About 2.5 minutes plus whatever Mr. Tattersall chooses to add on, he has that option. He may get a little more than 5 tonight. Gonzalez spent most of the second half in the middle tonight. Umar. Alex Lee. Lavity lays off for Williams. Imura. Troyer. Williams. Yambi.
Gets to a point, you've got to get the ball in the box.
Troyer. And a little layoff by Imura was picked off by Canziora. Miller hammered it forward. Williams plays it back for Troyer, who lost it. Iwolo has an opportunity. Troyer made sure, Mora made sure that did not happen. But Mr. Tattersall is going to the spot.
Yeah, it was a bit of a cluster in the back right there. There was contact. He went down. Awola felt the contact, went down like any forward would. I think even if we had VAR here at City Stadium, they probably wouldn't overrule that one, unfortunately.
And you probably lose points for artistic merit as well because the kickers made a hash of that.
Now Travis is going to get a yellow card for voicing his opinion.
It's the first caution of the night. Wara deep in stoppage time. Yellow card for dissent. As NCFC with an opportunity here to put Richmond to the sword. Iwolo will take it. And it is 3-1 NCFC.
It just looked like miscommunication in the back. For me, I think Mikel Williams had it under control. Travis should have dropped back and given him an option. Started to come out, didn't communicate too well, and ended up being a bad touch and a penalty.
Iwolo's second goal of the season.
It's nice and calm and smooth, slotted in the corner. It's a good penalty by Iwola.
And now in the dying embers of stoppage time, Kickers trail 3-1. Would equal their largest margin of defeat at home this season. Imura. Fernando. Broken up by Canziora, but whistle here, and now we are at the discretion of Mr. Tattersall.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's another minute or two still. There was some time wasting by NCFC, the penalty.
But probably not sufficient time to get 2. Lavity serves in. Yambi got a piece of that. Out of the scramble, Yambi tried to keep it alive, then Ian banged it out, and we are done. NCFC spoiling David Bulow's debut as Richmond head coach, as Colin Clark, the head coach before Lee Kalashaw, comes back to City Stadium and earns a win. And we are back with a recap next on CBS 6.3 and ESPN+.
Don't miss out. It's the final days of Nissan Now. Hurry in for big savings on Rogue, America's best-selling SUV, and our entire lineup. Event ends April 2nd. Get 0% for up to 72 months on 13 models.
Make time to escape to the coast and enjoy 60 miles of beautiful beaches and let the sound of the ocean's tide take you to your happy place. Now's the perfect time to book your spring getaway to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Besides, you deserve it. Seize your moment now and come, let go, and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach time.
Don't miss out. It's the final days of Nissan Now. Hurry in for big savings on Rogue, America's best-selling SUV, and our entire lineup. Event ends April 2nd. Get 0% for up to 72 months on 13 models.
She works as a meteorologist at CBS 6, but Nikki D. Ray does all kinds of jobs. Roll call.
I'm Nikki D, the construction worker. I'm Nikki D, the insurance agent. I'm Nikki D, the doctor. I'm Nikki D, the fast food cook. I'm Nikki D, the referee. I'm Nikki D, the teacher. I'm Nikki D, the beekeeper. I'm Nikki D, the race car driver.
Nikki D, Can You Be Me? On CBS 6 this morning.
Richmond Kickers versus RCD Espanyol. They conquered Real Madrid. They defeated Atlético de Madrid. La Liga is coming to City Stadium July 25th. La Liga in RBA. Get tickets now at richmondkickers.com.
And we are back at City Stadium, where North Carolina Football Club has picked up a win for the first time this season when conceding first, and they end a stretch of 3 in a row winless as they rally to beat the Richmond Kickers 3-1, spoiling the debut of new head coach David Bulow. Kickers got off to the brightest of starts. It took less than 4 minutes before Aviel Cordovez was able to finish a Scott Thompson ball, and Kickaroo was probably pretty pleased.
Yeah, he was excited for tonight. You know, it's kind of a new era. The Kickers came out buzzing. Scott Thompson, one of the guys who was getting an opportunity on the left, was doing a great job, played a ball into Cordovez, and I mean, that is a great finish from a good striker. So they came out, you know, really strong, I thought, in the first half. They defended really well. NCFC really didn't have any great chances. The couple shots they had on target were all from distance that Travis Warrer was able to defend pretty easily. And going forward, the Kickers' front four of Cordovez, Fernando, Schreiber, and Raul Gonzalez connected well, and they got dangerous. And they ended up with 9 shots in the first half compared to 5 for NCFC. So it started out really well. NCFC made some really good second half adjustments and kind of changed the way they were going. And 2 set pieces. This one, unfortunate for Alex Lee, gets the last touch and deflects it into his own goal. A little bit of a redirection off his shin. And then a free kick that served into the 6-yard box for an open header by Deleuze. So 2 set pieces, which were kind of the end of it for the Kickers. And then that kind of penalty at the end that was a bit of a cluster defensively, miscommunication in the back.
Iwomu, the late sub, coming on to tally his second goal of the campaign and put a bow on a 3-1 win for NCFC. It's a big win for North Carolina Football Club as they improve to 5-7-3 and climb a bit in the standings while getting some separation from the Kickers, who suffer a loss here and are now 4-9-2. Now David Bulow has some time to regroup. Kickers don't play again for 9 days, but they won't be back here until July 21st.
Yeah, I think it's important to keep everything in perspective, and it was a pretty emotional, kind of a whirlwind week. I know a lot of the players were caught off guard by the announcement about Lee Kalishaw midweek. Dave Bulow steps in, really had 3 days to work with this group. One of those days was a scrimmage up at Audi Stadium against DC United. So he really didn't have much time to evaluate, much time to really put his footprint on the team. So I expect to see some changes, and it's probably going to be a bit of a project the rest of this year. See a couple different lineups, give a couple different people an opportunity. I wouldn't be surprised if we see almost everyone on the roster play at some point in the next couple weeks. But it's a new era, and I think there was a lot of positives that they can take out of this, but it is a learning experience.
And the Kickers fall tonight 3-1. They are back here against Atlanta United, the reserve side, July 21st. While some fixture crowding for North Carolina, they'll play a midweek game before they are back at Cary, North Carolina next weekend to face Charleston. And don't forget, following Atlanta United 2, our CD Espanol comes to City Stadium July 25th. For Mike Voyak and our USL TV crew here at City Stadium, Ronnie Pascal, I'm John Emmett. Our final again tonight, the North Carolina Football Club gets out of here with a 3-1 win over the Richmond Kickers. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate
Thanks, Mike.